Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello and welcome to Portimao for the opening round, the opening race of the 2022 Spanish Formula 4 Championship. My name is Leo Gorman, and today and for the rest of this season we have new drivers, new teams, new regulations, a new car, new challenges, but the same prize. Everyone looking towards the championship trophy at the end of 21 rounds, beginning here in the southern tip of Portugal. It's been a fantastic weekend so far, fantastic conditions, as you can see on screen for yourself. Been a dry weekend and the cars have just left the pits now on dummy laps to the grid. We will line up, and it is quite an exceptional field this year. We have 30 cars lining up for this weekend's opening round, supporting the DTM series. A lot of drivers will be hoping to impress in front of the fantastically popular German series. Drivers getting their dummy laps to the grid now, warming their tires, weaving around, getting some heat into their brakes as well. And what I can tell you is that amongst the 30 drivers who have qualified this weekend, we do have a rookie on pole for Nikola Solov, the Campos racing driver. Put in an absolutely fantastic effort in qualifying this morning. He was also fastest in practice, and that has put him on pole position. As you see, the mechanics lined up on the grid waiting for their charges to come round. As I said, quite a few changes. We do have a new car this year, as you can tell. Gone is the old Tatus F4 TO14 car. We now have the Tatus F4 T21. Unveiled last year, the Spanish Championship, the Spanish Formula 4 Championship, has one of several championships to take the Tatus TO21. It's got additional safety features such as the halo, additional side impact, strengthening structures, and it's also a car for the future as well. The interesting thing about this machine is it does have a space, a cavity in the chassis for a hybrid unit that may go into these cars in a couple of seasons' time. So a Spanish Championship with the Italian manufacturer looking to the future. A lot of drivers in this field looking to the future. We have several returning drivers from last season. We do have a nice batch of rookies as well. As I said, 30 drivers this weekend. We have 29 full season drivers lined up. We do have one entry so far that is just for this round. As we see the coming through the field. These are just acclimatization laps, really, as the drivers getting used to these conditions. They tested and practiced in around these times yesterday afternoon. But of course, this morning's qualifying was held in cooler conditions, as it was 8:30 in the morning, a very early start. So the conditions from this morning not really representative to what we see now. And it's a healthy crowd here at the Circuit Algarve in Portimao. And a lot lot of people anticipating some very, very, very close action. We saw some fantastic action last season. It was a championship won by Dutch racer Delano van Toff for MP Motorsport. And MP Motorsport have entered quite a number of drivers this year. They have 8 full-time entries so far this season. They'll be hoping to have a similar level of success. But interesting too is Campos Racing, they've really stepped up. They've entered 5 drivers this year. We see on screen there, that is Timotheus Karczyk, second on the grid, the all-black machine for MP Motorsport. We shall see a bit of him this year. He says he was the winner of the Rich Emil Young Talent Academy at the end of 21. It was run at the Circuit of Navarra. Polish 15-year-old. His prize, a full season effort with MP Motorsport in Spanish Formula 4. He'll be hoping to capitalize on that success. You see the field now just coming onto the grid slots. These are going to be final preparations. There are mechanics there. They'll make final checks on tire pressures and whatnot. It's Christian Ho on screen there, the MP Motorsport runner. He qualified 9th for today's race. Had a run in United Arab Emirates F4 at the beginning of this season, the Singapore driver. And number 29 just on screen for you now is George Kelstrom. He's a second-year driver, but this is the pole sitter. Nikolai Solov for Campos Racing, a rookie and a member of the Alpine Academy, the Formula 1 extension. It's part of their new project for 2022. Now we look at the grid. Nikolai Solov on pole position with Timotheus Karczyk second on the grid, then Hugh Barter for Campos Racing. Valerio Rinicella fourth on the grid with Miran Pingasov. He's coming back for another season. Then it goes to Sanapol Idripuvazak for MP Motorsport with Zuliman Sanfari, Philippe Jenik, Christian Ho and George Kelstrom rounding out the top 10. It's an all Campos, all MP Motorsport top 10. Shows you the level of concentration and investment and preparation that they have put in. But do not underestimate the rest of the teams, the rest of the drivers who are going to be fighting tooth and nail for every position, every single point. And a lot of fans in the grandstand who will be looking forward to seeing some stars of the future. Solov, the Bulgarian racer, had 2 laps. He set provisional pole position for race 2 as well, as we look at the second place driver, Timotheus Karczyk, second on the grid. Both of Solov's pole position times were over 0.2 of a second quicker than anything anyone else could produce. Hugh Barter, by the way, on Campos Racing, the Australian, he lines up 3rd on the grid for this race. As we see the new halo on these Formula 4 cars. We've seen them extensively in the likes of Formula 1, Formula 2 and Formula 3 of late. Valerio Rinicella for MP Motorsport. He's 4th on the grid. Good effort from him in his first Formula 4 race. He's a protege of Giancarlo Fisichella. He raced in UAE F4 at the beginning of this year. Miran Pingasov, another MP Motorsport racer. He had a 1:45.758. He competed in a few rounds at the tail end of last season. This will be his first full season in car racing. As we look at Sanapol Idripuvazak, the Thai racer, 6th on the grid. He competed in British Formula 4 last year, took a win in that, and has also raced in UAE F4 twice. Zuliman Zanfari, 7th on the grid, coming back for another season. This is his second. He raced with MP Motorsport last year, finished 11th in the standings. And Filip Jenik, another driver back for another go. He racing for Campos Racing. He was with Teo Martin Motorsport last season, got 1 win and 1 podium. Good effort for the Serbian driver, but he'll be looking for a much higher finish as we go through these 7 rounds. Christian Ho, as mentioned, 9th on the grid. The rookie will be pushing forward to get further up the order. Good effort though in his rookie attempt to get into the top 9. Then we have 10th on the grid, number 29, George Kelstrom, Campos Racing. 10th in the standings last year. He raced previously with MP Motorsport, took 1 win and 1 other podium for the Danish racer. Gail Julian lining up 11th on the field for DriveX, first non-MP and non-Campos racer on the field. He raced in French Formula 4 last year, took 1 win with 3 other podiums, finished 7th in the standings, and we are about to get go as the 15-second board goes out, and with that we will have 1 final run through the field. The mechanics at the back of the order clearing off the track, and starting from the pit lane, I believe, will be Bruno De Pinto. He did set a time of 1 minute 45.951. The DriveX entry will not be starting from the grid, however. Lola Lovenfoss, 29th on the grid for Teo Martin Motorsport. She is the only female racer in this season's championship, and as such, there is no female trophy this season. Daniel Nogales, Teo Martin Motorsport, 28th on the grid with 1 minute 47.023. Then we have Jorge Campos for Formula de Campaños. Not a great qualifying for them. There's a 1 minute 46.764. He's just behind Manuel Espirito Santo, another returning driver. He's also racing for Teo Martin Motorsport with a 1 minute 46.706. Max Meyer, 25th on the grid for Formula de Campaños with a 46.643. And then on row 12, you've got a pair of Global Racing School entries. Lucas Malek in 23rd place, then Ricardo Grazia, the Brazilian, 24th. Both of them with 1 minute 46.6 times. Then on 22nd on the grid, you have Jeff Mackels for Monlau Motorsport, a very interesting entry. The car, and it's an entry effectively, it's a car run and owned by Van Amersfoort Racing. It's a team you're very familiar with if you watch a lot of F4 and Formula 3. But as in an affiliated effort, this is run by Monlau Motorsport, which is a team of junior and student engineers. So this is effectively live experience for them. Fantastic effort and a fantastic program. The 22nd on the grid for Jeff Mackels. 21st, Anshul Gandhi for Cram Pinnacle Motorsport. Pinnacle ran 3 rounds last year. They returned in this joint venture with Cram. 20th on the grid is Sebastian Gravlund for MP Motorsport. And then on 19th on the grid, Jesse Carrascada for Campos Racing. Then row 9, you got Ricardo Escota, 17th for Cram Pinnacle with Vladislav Ryabov in GRS. He's returning again. Row 8, Noam Lyle, he's only here this weekend, we think, for DriveX. It's a 1 minute 46.297. He's 16th. Then Alvaro Garcia for Formula de Campaños in 15th. 14th on the grid is MP Motorsport's Kirill Smal with a 1 minute 46.210, just behind Maxim Arkankelski for DriveX. He is returning for this season. Robert Dehaan is the second Monlau Motorsport Van Amersfoort driver with a 1 minute 46.1. Fritz Van Amersfoort really rates him. We'll be keeping an eye on his effort. Gal Julian, as mentioned a few moments ago, for DriveX Racing, 11th on the grid, 1 minute 46.0. Then in the top 10, George Kelstrom for Campos Racing, 1 minute 45.999. Christian Ho, MP Motorsport, is 9th. Row 4 is Filip Jenik in 8th position with 1 minute 45.913. Then Zuleman Zanfari in 7th place with a 45.899. 6th on the grid, Sanapol Interpuvisak, MP Motorsport, at 1 minute 45.866. Then Miram Pingasov, 5th on the grid, MP Motorsport, with a 1 minute 45.758. Valerio Rinacella, MP Motorsport, 1 minute 45.694, 4th on the grid, just behind Hugh Barter for Campos Racing at 45.676. And then the front row of the grid, as the cars pull into their slots and line up for the start of this race. 2nd on the grid will be Timotheus Karczyk for MP Motorsport at 1 minute 45.421. And on pole position on screen for you now, the number 12 Blue Machine, Nikola Solov for Campos Racing at 1 minute 45, 192. He was fastest in both practice sessions and has really shown some incredible pace so far this weekend and in the pre-season tests. But will he be able to replicate that in this race? The final cars lining up. This could also be critical for Solov. He's now been sitting at the front of the order for quite a bit of time. There's so many cars in this field now. It does take an extra bit of time to actually fully line the field up. The marshal at the back waves the green flag. The lights come on and we are go. And it is a good start by Karczyk. And that is almost a hit. It's actually Solov who stalled on the grid. He's managed to avoid being hit by everyone. Karczyk leads, but around the back and the cross, Karczyk comes Hugh Barter to take the lead around the outside of turns 1 and 2. Fantastic effort. Barter leads from Karczyk, Rinicella in 3rd place. Then you got Pinkasov currently running in 4th. And we may have lost a car already as Barter holds the advantage coming into the hairpin. Two drivers, we've got several drivers mincing for positions in the midfield, going clean off the circuit. It'll be interesting as one of the GRS entries really goes off the circuit. Solov has got going. He's running 2nd last at the moment, and I believe Del Pinto may be the only driver behind him. Barter leads. Karczyk, he's under pressure from Rinicella. As they come around the back end of the circuit, several drivers still fighting over positions, and the amazing the gaps you can find when you really absolutely need to. Right now, Rinicella can't find a gap to get into 2nd place. Pinkasov currently 4th. Intrapuvicic 4th. My apologies. Fari 6th, Kelstrom up to 7th. Filip Jenik is 8th. Gay Julian is 9th. Arkanchelski is 10th. That is Small in the back car, looking to try and get it run on Arkanchelski. Karczyk continues to lead. Sorry, Barter begins to lead. Sorry, Barter has actually just dropped off the timing and scoring screen, but he is very much still there. Ryabov has gone into the pits from 24th position. He's dropping down the order. Noah Lyle has also dropped down the order. He's in the pits too, the driver who's only here for 1 weekend. As we see Pinkasov and Intrapuvicic fighting for position, and that is why. That is Noah Lyle, a very damaged left front. We see Ryabov leaving now. And that is day over, I'm afraid, for Noah Lyle. Looks initially like a puncture, but they will also be checking for suspension damage too. Meanwhile, Barter leads. Karczyk is in 2nd place. Rinicella still in 3rd. Pinkasov continues to hold 4th position ahead of Intrapuvicic. Zanfari is still 6th. And he is desperately trying to find, that's Intrapuvicic, sorry, desperately trying to find a way past Pinkasov. Intrapuvicic, if you're wondering, he's in the number 14 machine. We're looking at him now, trying to find a way past Pinkasov into 24. MP Motorsport generally running their traditional orange colours this year. Barter crosses the line once again. And I wondered it does so. We have. That is again Intrapuvicic and Pingol going side by side. Zanfari is there, well, trying to pick up the pieces, but he cannot on this occasion. And Julian just behind. We're watching at the front. That is still Barter out front, by the way. He has seemingly dropped down the order. We see it was a bad stall. Solov initially got away, rolled away, and then it just ground to an absolute halt, and very lucky not to get collected by any of the drivers coming from behind. Plenty had lots of... Oh! That was very close. At the front we see Karczyk maybe a little bit tentative going into turn one, gave Barter the opportunity to go by, and that makes me think, that does make me wonder. Barter did seem to go almost clean off the track to take Karczyk, and I've not been notified of a penalty on the live to timing on the notice board from race control. But Barter is there, he's just not being registered, and neither is Kelstrom, Anshul Gandhi or Lola Lovenfoss. They are out on track. Further battles for position behind. You take any line you can, and several drivers, you get the line just about wrong, you do have no choice but to go flying off circuit, and it's a deep dive down the inside. That was Max Meyer trying to get past Bruno de Pina. Pina's a very good effort so far. He is up to 19th position, having started right at the back. An absolute mesh of drivers throughout this field. As it stands by the timing and scoring, Karczyk continues to lead. From Munichella, Pengasov is third place. Inter-Pruvisak is fourth. Zanfari continues to be fifth ahead of Gail Julian and Philippe Jennings seventh. Eighth is Robert de Haan. Very good effort from the Monlau Motorsport entry, having started down in 12th. Arkachowski 9th. And in 10th place, Ricardo Escotto. And so the timing and scoring screen appears to have fixed itself once again. Barter still leads. Karczyk is second place. Rinachella in third, ahead of Pingasov and Inter-Pruvisak. We're seeing some battling down the order. As drivers fighting to get their way into the top 10. It's a very difficult effort, particularly if you're caught in the pack, as we see several drivers going side by side. I do believe that's Solov, who was just behind Garcia, but he has just taken him, so that is for 22nd place, and that stall really did cost the pole sitter for race one. Technically at this point he leads the championship, having gained 2 points for pole position for race one. He won't lead the championship after this race, as we see one of the GRS drivers make a move. I believe that may be Ryabov ahead of Grazia for 24th position. And it may be disappointing, really, very disappointing for Solov. It's not the kind of start he wanted, but these are the things you learn. These are the things that you pick up when racing. You need to learn how to start. You need to learn how to battle. You need to know how to set consistent lap times. You don't just jump into a car and are immediately fast. It's easy to forget even the likes of Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc had to make a few mistakes before they became the polished drivers they are today. See a replay of Karczyk chasing down Barter, the Australian leading this race for Campos Racing. But just behind Barter is 5 MP Motorsport entries, and Karczyk really giving that front wing a hefty whack over the curbs. And once again, this is Pinkasov with Intra-Pufasak still pushing, still looking for a way through. This is for 5th position, Zanfari just behind them. The number 52 car. Then you have Julian in 7th place, and Philippe Jenik is 8th. And Intra-Pufasak has made the move. He's gone around the outside and has finally got past Pinkasov for 4th position. And finally, Intra-Pufasak makes his way into 5th position. Very good maneuver there. The driver who won a race in British Formula 4 last season finished 10th in the standings. In a very competitive field then. He's in an equally competitive field this time now. And you have a very, very quick congratulations to himself inside the cockpit, not just because he took the position, but he also took the position past one of his highly rated teammates. Now he will chase after Rinicella for 3rd position. They've lost about 4 seconds now to the actual race leaders. So whether Intra-Pufasak can actually make that gap up. He is weaving across the circuit to try and break the toe to Pinkasov, but Zanfari may also have a draft on Pinkasov, but can he make the way through? No, he cannot. A little bit too far behind the order. But it's a train now of 7 cars. Intra-Pufasak, then Pinkasov, then Zanfari, then Julian, then Jenik. Then Nahan and Kirill Small now in the top 10, having passed Arkanchelski. And that is interesting. That is a move around the outside, but off the track. But both of them were off the track. And Pinkasov forcing the way by before being taken on the road. And that is Anshul Garcia, who has ventured into the pit lane, has repaired what needed to be repaired, and rejoins the race. It's the first entry for Cram Pinnacle Motorsport. Pinnacle, as mentioned pre-race, were here last season, but their relationship with Cram Motorsport is a joint venture for this Spanish Formula 4 Championship. And hopefully we will see them really go forth and take charge of that this season. But meanwhile, out front, you've got Hugh Barter. He's under great pressure now by Karczyk. Karczyk in 2nd place. He's under the rear wing of Barter. He's going down the inside line now, switches to the outside. Can he make the way across Barter to take the lead? He noses ahead going into turn 1, but Barter has the inside line. He maintains the inside line, but locks up as he does. Barter goes wide. Karczyk doesn't quite follow him through, but keeps an outside line. But will that allow him a tighter turn into turn 3? Barter struggling now to get the traction down as Karczyk does take the lead. Rinicella is there as well. He is going to look to try and take advantage of Barter going off the circuit, and he does again. Touches the wheels on the grass. Barter now going back down the inside to Ryan retake the lead, and he does. Rinicella looking for 2nd position from Karczyk. He can't quite make it as they unfold out of turn 4 from the hairpin and back up the hill. Karczyk looking for the lead once again, round the right-hander onto the back end of the circuit. But Rinicella is not going to let them away with anything. But Karczyk's lost a little bit of time, a little bit of gap to the race leader as he now falls under pressure from 3rd place. This kind of battling, and you can see Karczyk really fighting, taking odd lines, weaving lines to try and keep Rinicella behind, and it's actually costing him time to the race leader Barter. As we see the replay trying to go around the outside, it was a valiant effort, but as the corners unfolded, Hugh Barter found himself back on the correct line in order to retake the lead. And there's Rinicella there. The opportunity was almost there. Probably actually would have been able to make the move had Barter not been ahead. Barter being ahead, very much held Rinacella just in front, and we see this again. This is Zanfari now having a go on Pingasov. This is for 5th and 6th positions. 4th place there in Prupuvazak. And Pingasov was on the inside line holding Zanfari at bay. Behind them for the battles for position, this is George Kelstrom. And Robert DeHaan battling as well. So that's Christian Ho in 12th place, taking Maxim Arkanchelski. My apologies. As we see a battle for the lead again, once again, Hugh Barter does not get an ideal line coming out of the hairpin, and this time Karczyk outdrags Barter coming down the exit of the straight. Barter trying to maintain an opportunity, takes a tighter line to try and retake the lead, but it's not happening there. Rinacella is waiting. But this time, Karczyk has the inside line. It is a long, lingering left-hander. As we go into the right-hander, this gives Barter the inside, but does he have enough room to take the lead? And they hit! They do hit! They do hit on this occasion. That was Barter's left front to Karczyk's right rear. Let's hope there's not a puncture there, but Rinacella is almost waiting for these two to take themselves off so that he can take advantage of going to the lead, but he is charging. He's charging Barter now for 2nd place. Barter goes wide. Rinacella still on the inside. In for Prupuvazak is now in 4th, just behind him, looking to take advantage of this. And Rinacella is ahead. He has got ahead. That is 2nd place for the MP Motorsport racer, taking the Campos racing driver. Into Prupuvazak is just behind, but will he get a trap? Barter is trying to retake 2nd position, goes right under the rear wing of his very inexperienced compatriot. Barter on the inside. Rinacella locks his right front, but this gives him an opportunity in Prupuvazak to go into 3rd place, and he does. In Prupuvazak takes 3rd position. And the battling from the leaders has really brought the pack behind back into this race. And Rinacella will be absolutely cursing that. Only a few laps ago he was looking at potentially taking the lead, and now he runs in 4th place. And he's gone off the circuit, and I do wonder if he has an issue. Was that just outbraking himself, or is there potentially a puncture there? And we see the glance between Barter and Karczyk. Yeah, and Barter's very lucky to get away with not damaging his suspension, let alone getting a puncture or anything like that. And I believe the driver going off a few moments ago was Zanfari. He's lost the position to Julian. As we rejoin the live feed, Karczyk leads. Barter 2nd place. Prupuvazak is 3rd. Rinacella in 4th place. Oh, no, someone's gone off there, and it's a... That is... That was Mackels in the Monlau Motorsport Van Amersfoort entry. Drops from 21st down to 26th position. And Rinacella now showing in the pit lane. And I wonder if he has potentially damaged his tyres significantly and needs to change. And again, this is one of the things you have to learn in Formula 4, is how to manage your tyres. As the field really compressed now after those several laps of battling out front and fighting for the lead positions. A note, by the way, for Bruno D'Apino, who started right at the back of the order, had his qualifying time taken away, started at the back of the order, who's currently now running in 16th position. Won't get him any points, but get him brownie points if nothing else for overtaking quite a number of drivers in this race so far. This is Karczyk, and just behind was, and there we see Barter on the inside. And Rinacella in the orange 55 MP Motorsport entry. now very much out of the running. Karczyk has a second lead, 1.15 seconds ahead of Barter, who in turn is 0.7 of a second ahead of Intrupuvasak. But no matter what way you paint it, it's all very, very, very close. It's number 51, that is Christian Ho. He is currently in 11th place, so close to points. He's got the hand just ahead in the Monlau Motorsport entry. He's trying to get underneath the rear wing, get a draft, maybe pull into the slipstream and pull out and solidify another position coming down the start-finish straight. And you see he has gone into the middle of the road. The hand defends, swings across the middle of the circuit. Ho goes to the outside line and nullifies itself. The hand very much defending. The inside line is not an optimum line to take for these corners. It will put him off the ideal line, and will it give Christian Ho an opportunity to try and get past as we come down to the hairpin section? He's once again underneath the Monlau Motorsport racer, but the hand keeps the inside line. Christian Ho goes around the outside anyway, but goes too far wide and onto the runoff area, and the hand retakes 10th position. Very good effort from these youngsters. And still, to be fair, we're on to 12th lap. There's just over 4 minutes plus 1 lap of this race remaining, and they're only 8 seconds off the lead. So this is by no stretch of the imagination have these drivers run off into the distance. And this is the spin a few moments ago by Jeff Mackles. And there was a stray wing, and it wasn't from this, so it must have been from an earlier incident. The stray wing was actually in the runoff area, so it may have been from an earlier incident. But that dropped Mackill's several positions. He's currently down in 25th and would probably have ruined what was left of his tyres too. Karczyk continues to lead. The gap over Barty is 0.8 of a second. Barty is there. He's keeping a watching brief, but he's not close enough to make this work just yet. Intrupuvasak is currently in third. Pinkasov a few seconds behind in fourth. We've got Julian fifth. Zanfari in sixth position. Kelstrom challenging Filip Jenik, his teammate, for over seventh and eighth positions, but Jenik holds the advantage at this point. This is Carrascado battling with Riccardo Grazia, and Carrascado has got ahead for 22nd position. And it may not seem like much, but these positions do matter quite a lot for these young racers. There's opportunities to race, opportunities to challenge, opportunities to balance, and opportunities to retake positions lost. As Carrascado goes right back again, you got Lola Lovenfoss just behind in 24th position, keeping a watching brief. She's in her second season of Spanish Formula 4. We'll be hoping to move up the order somewhat compared to where she finished in 2021, which was 25th overall. And there has been a change for the lead. That is Hugh Barter has taken the lead. There has been a change somewhere on the circuit, but Barter now leads once again from Karczyk. Karczyk is pulling under Barter's rear ring in order to reverse that issue, but the Australian leads once again as they cross the line. The gap is only 0.23 of a second. Karczyk, will he make a move around the outside? He can't. He just does not have the momentum. Intrupuvasak is right there in third as well. He's looking like Rinnicella earlier on. He'll be looking for a mistake from the leading two to possibly even take a win out of this. Barter continues to lead, holding his line steady. Karczyk absolutely furious that he's found himself back in second place again, but Intrupuvasak is right there, and he's going for second place as we enter into the hairpin. Doesn't quite make it. He's got the same problem that Rinnicella had. Oh, and Karczyk has gone wide. Intrupuvasak is now in second place. Pinkasov is just behind in fourth. And a mistake there from Karczyk, outbraked himself, allowed Intrupuvasak through. And now Intrupuvasak is going for the race win, chasing down Barty. We're coming towards the end of this lap. We're on lap 14. There's only 40 seconds plus 1 lap left in this race. It may not be enough time, but Interpruvas, I'm sure, will do his best to prove us all wrong. And actually just let the back end just snapped out there from Karczyk and had a momentary lock of the inside left, and that was enough to not just open the door but leave it wide open for Interpruvas to go through and take second position. And now Karczyk will be looking in his mirrors. This will be tight. There may be enough time to cross the line. Will this be the last lap? Interpruvas is right there, but he's not close enough on this occasion to make the move. This is lap 15. We're getting close to the final few miles in this race. It's Christian Ho keeping Arkanchelski at bay, but out front it is Hugh Barter still leading from Interpruvas. Karczyk, oh, and a bit of a wobble there from Hugh Barter on the braking, and it's given Interpruvas an opportunity. That wobble really lost Barter just a little bit of time, but not enough for him to be completely under threat from Interpruvas. But you see this is the last lap of the race as we see on screen, but you see the pressure that these drivers have been putting their Hankook tyres under for the duration of this race. And you can see little wobbles, little slides, moments of nervousness throughout this race and throughout the later stages of this race as drivers struggle to keep to the optimum line. But Barter may have done just enough. He has 0.4 of a second over Interpruvas, while we see Pingasov trying to get a mistake out of Karczyk, but he may well be running out of corners. And it is the final few turns, come down the hills, a long lingering right-hander, then it unfolds into the start-finish straight. You go up a hill, and finally down the start-finish straight and take the flag, and Hugh Barter wins his first Spanish Formula 4 race. Sanapol Interpruvas comes home second. Third is Timotheus Karczyk for MP Motorsport. Fourth is Miran Pingasov. Fifth place, Gail Julian. Good effort for him considering he started 11th. Suleiman Sanfari comes home a steady 6th place ahead of Philippe Janik and George Kelstrom. Kirill Small takes 9th coming over the line, and the final points scoring driver is Christian Ho, coming home 10th after starting 9th. He may be a little bit disappointed with that, but it is points nonetheless. And for the rest of the field, 11th is Robert De Haan for the Monlau Motorsport entry. Maxim Arkanchelski comes home 12th. 13th is Sebastian Gravlund ahead of Nicolas Solov, the pole position man who stalled right at the beginning. He climbed back up to 14th at least. Bruno Del Pino came home 15th, having started last. Ricardo Escoto for Cram Pinnacle Motorsport comes home 16th ahead of Manuel Espirito Santo in the Tio Marta Motorsport entry in 17th. 18th is Daniel Nogales, again for Tio Marta Motorsport. Max Meyer takes 19th for Formula de Campinos. Alvaro Garcia rounds out the top 20 also for Formula de Campinos. And then from 21st onwards, we have Lucas Malek for GRS. Ricardo Grazia coming home in 22nd, also for GRS. And in 23rd position for Campos Racing, Jesse Carrascado, just ahead of Jaff Michaels in 24th. He spun part of the way through the race. Valerio Rinicello rejoined. He came home 25th. He's going to be very, very disappointed with that. Vladislav Ryabov pitted. He finishes 26th. Also pitted was Anshul Gandhi. He comes home 27th. Lola Lovenfoss pulled into the pits on the final lap. She is classified 28th. Noah Lyle did join the pits, but returned. He lost a lap. He came home 29th. And the only non-finisher, Jorge Campos, for Formula de Campagnos. He retired after 9 laps of 15. But it's all to do with these three, these three at the front. Puvacek, number 14, the MP Motorsport racer, emerges from his machine, but emerging winner for Campos Racing is Hugh Barter, the Australian. Fantastic effort at front two. Congratulate each other for a job well done. And for trophies earned. Almost looks quite calm about it. Understated. Hugh Barter, who qualified third, launched himself right to the front at the beginning when Solov stalled, and Karczyk kind of got held up slightly. Here is Karczyk. He will be disappointed. Could have had the win following that stall, was running second, but ended up in third. You can see there's a touch of disappointment in his body language. There is Karczyk. Third place in the number 7 entry for MP Motorsport. Second in the order to Sanapol Puvacek, but also for MP Motorsport, his first race in Spanish Formula 4. But the plaudits, the points, and the success go to the race winner. It's the number 25 for Campos Racing, Hugh Barter, winning by 0.4 of a second after a fantastic battle with both Puvacek and Karczyk, and earlier on Rinachella. But he is the one who comes out with the 25 points and leads the championship at this early stage. Hugh Barter, unless something changes dramatically, and tomorrow we'll be starting 4th for race 2 behind Rinachella, Karczyk and Pullman Solov. So these are the final standings. Hugh Barter also picked up a bonus point for the fastest lap, as you can see on the side of the screen there. Fastest lap was 1 minute 46.311. Technically, Solov did claim the fastest lap of the race, but because he finished outside of the top 10, he is unable to claim that point. Double whammy for the Bulgarian. As you see the final order there. 27 finishers. Well, it was obviously Lovenfoss and Lyle finished as well, albeit a lap down. Lovenfoss was in the pits. No wonder, maybe a little bit of a slight cramp or minor injury there for Barter. This, you have to expect this sometimes with drivers who are competing in their first race. These things do happen. And the trophy partially in the shape of the Portimao circuit. And Karczyk looking, yeah, slightly disappointed. As we go up to the podium in a moment for the first podium of the 2022 Spanish Formula 4 season. It makes for an intriguing start. We saw a championship winner last year with Delano Vantoff. It was a Hugh Barter mentioned there he had no grip. Yeah, it was a rookie champion last year with Delano Vantoff for MP Motorsport. Plenty of fast rookies this year too. I do wish the microphone was slightly closer. As they pick up their Hankook tire, Hankook caps, the Hankook tired Formula. And Timotheus Karczyk takes third on a podium spot. Second place to Sanopol Intraprufesac for MP Motorsport, and the winner of the opening race of the 2022 Spanish Formula 4 Championship, Hugh Barter of Australia for Campos Racing, as he strides to the podium, and for him, the Australian national anthem.
We now listen to the anthem. Now, first the trophies for all the drivers. For the winning team, Campos Racing, for our second placed and third place drivers, Timotej Karczyk and Tanapol Intraprufesac, and as well for our winner, Hugh Barker. Congratulations. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our winner, to honor Hugh Barter, here we have the national anthem from Australia.
I like the Australian national anthem. Very jolly. I've just been reminded, of course, Hugh Barter, while he may be his first season in Spanish Formula 4, he did actually race in French F4 last year, took a couple of wins and came home second in the standings.
Gentlemen, it's time for champagne. I think the photos are not finished yet. So now everyone seems to be happy.
More photos.
Get close together and you fit to one picture. And now it's time for the well-deserved shower. Gentlemen, champagne!
Well, that was maybe the drink celebrations at the end were slightly less.
We have two different podiums as we honor the rookie, and our first place rookie, the third overall from Poland, Timotej Karczyk. Congratulations, our rookie.
The podium celebrations continue off screen as Intraprufesac picks up the rookie trophy. And so, thank you for watching race one of the first round of the Spanish Formula 4 Championship. We will return tomorrow morning for race 2 at 10. It should be 10:45 a.m. UK, 11:45 a.m. on the continent. That is for the second race of this weekend. Nikola Solov is on pole for that as well. Let's see if we will get the same action and ferocity tomorrow as we did today. Thank you. My name is Leo Corman. Until then, goodbye.